guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Alana and I make all types of lifestyle videos to include videos about law school. Those of you who don't know, about a year ago I graduated with my Juris Doctorate degree from University of Baltimore School of Law, and occasionally I like to make some law school related videos for you guys, just to be informative and to present a perspective of the law school experience that I don't see here on YouTube or anywhere on the internet, to be honest with you. So today we'll be tackling, should you go to law school? And I've made a list of different points that I wanted to touch on, so let's get right into it. So the first thing I wanted you guys to kind of, and please bear with me, I do have my notes here with me. So the first point I wanted to touch on is that you should definitely evaluate your reason for going to law school. What is the purpose behind trying to obtain this particular degree? What makes this different from trying to maintain or obtain a master's degree from somewhere else, or going to medical school? What makes this particular area of interesting to you? So definitely try to consider that. What makes this particular area interesting to you? My reason for going was because I didn't want to achieve a master's degree at the time. I always, kind of said I wanted to go to law school, even from when I was a young child growing up. And at the time, big law was kind of my overarching goal, and that changed obviously. And I'll link to different videos. You guys can check out my other videos in my law school playlist. But that changed big time. I've always liked to help people. I've always had an interest in being people's advocate. I've always been known to be a diplomatic kind of person and have the ability to kind of argue for either side of a case or either side of a situation. And so I always felt like this would be a good field for me to go into. The second thing I want you guys to consider is I really want you guys to try to visualize and plan out your area of law that you're most interested in. So the first thing for me was I was already employed with the US government, and so at the time I was interested in admin law, labor law. I also had an interest in environmental law because my undergraduate degree was in environmental and business economics, and so I had an interest in maybe going into the environmental sector with law. My husband is an immigrant from Liberia, Africa, and so immigration was an area that I was kind of interested in because I thought it would be cool to have an immigration lawyer in the family, as he still has family members who are still over in Africa and might be interested in coming over to America. And then also I had an interest in intellectual property as well. Anything that has to do with ideas and patents and trademarks, and anything that has to do with the protection of information that isn't necessarily tangible. I think that's really interesting. So those are the areas of law that I was interested in, and once I was done with my core requirements for my degree, I made sure to take classes in each one of these areas in order to be able to decipher or determine whether or not I wanted to go into any of these areas. And some of them I definitely did not want to go into afterward. I thought they sounded interesting, but they really were not. So definitely want to try to visualize and plan out what you guys want to do and what areas of law interest you most. Another important point is for you guys to definitely be sure to visit the schools you're most serious about. If you have the extra money and you can have extra time to spare, I would definitely encourage you to check out the schools so you can kind of figure out and see what the vibe of the people, the surrounding area, talk to different administrators, and then also visit the career development office to see what sorts of staff they have available. This is a place, law school is a place you're going to spend a lot of time at because you'll be studying, you'll be going to classes, ultimately a majority of your time when you do get into law school, you're going to be spending a lot of time in that specific area. And so you want to be able to have a positive atmosphere where you can study, a safe atmosphere where you can study. And I think it's important to definitely visit all the schools and get to know the administrators and get to know teachers, talk to students who are on campus if you happen to visit during school time or school, during the school year. I definitely think this is important because overall it can be a deterrent if it matters that the school atmosphere is a positive one and not one of a super duper competitive nature, because that can definitely affect your experience in the long run. Another thing that you would want to weigh out, and this is probably the most important thing, is the cost. Compare the cost of schooling to the cost of maybe the average salary of the area of law you're interested most in. And I say this because, you want to consider scholarships, you want to consider grants, and any other additional money that could be given to you to go to school to minimize the amount of loans you have to take. Law school is a huge investment, and it's a huge investment of time and money. And you definitely want to be able to consider your other expenses in addition to law school, because law school is just not it. You have to consider your living expenses. Are you going to be living on campus? Are you going to be renting an apartment? Are you going to be living at home with parents or guardians? You have to consider all of the costs that are associated with being able to put yourself through school. And if you have the support of family members to help you with that, that's awesome. If you don't, I did not, so I put myself through school with mostly loans and money out of my pocket. So for me, it was important to consider the cost, the overall investment cost of what law school takes. And yes, it's a huge investment of time and money, and I want you guys to understand that. So in determining whether or not you really want to go to law school, consider the amount of money you're going to have to invest in order to make that happen, and whether or not that's worth the long-term consequence of having to pay loans back and so on and so forth. So that's definitely something to consider when determining whether or not you should go to law school and whether or not you're going to be able to go to law school. And then other things and other thoughts I had in mind were, do you like to help and advocate for people? That's a huge part of, and in some aspects of law, it is a huge part of your job. Just considering the needs of clients, the needs of people you're representing. Is that something you like to do and have a desire to do? That's important. Law school, I'm never one to kind of deter someone from attending law school just because they don't necessarily want to be an attorney. I had plenty of fellow students who were just interested in getting the Juris Doctorate degree but not interested in actually practicing law, and I find that's fine. I think that law school provides you with lots of transferable skills, and in addition to, and those skills can be major assets in other careers. And I think that, especially because I'm not a practicing attorney right now, I am extremely happy with the fact that I have the Juris Doctorate degree, because at the end of the day, those skills that I learned in law school were able to transfer into another career, and has aided me in being able to make presentations in front of clients, being able to read statutes and read things that are applicable to my job now. So I say that to say, even if you don't want to be a practicing attorney, just know there are jobs out there that would appreciate a Juris Doctorate degree and would appreciate having someone as sharp as someone like you who got into a law school to, on their roster of people who have the ability to work and do a good job. So I definitely want to say that. I also want to say that I also want to ask you, do you like to read and write? Reading and writing are huge components of law school. You will be writing papers. You will be reading extensive amounts of prose, lots of writing, lots of reading, and a lot of that is expected of you jumping directly into your first year, your 1L year. So definitely consider this. And then also, you want to make sure you have at least some interest in law. And it's deeper than, you know, how to get away with murder. It's deeper than the practice. It's deeper than the shows and things and how being a lawyer is portrayed in pop culture. And you want to make sure it's something that you take serious, because becoming a lawyer is extremely honorable. And I feel like it's something that, I know lawyers get a bad rap for being liars or whatever else. You know, there's always stereotypes and stigmas associated with whatever field you decide to go in. But I definitely want you guys to understand that, you know, you need to have at least some interest in the field you're going to be spending so much time studying. So I wanted to kind of like conclude this video by asking you out there to just weigh your options, weigh all the different points that I mentioned in this video, and see if the answer comes out to be yes or the answer comes out to be no. These are things that I would consider and I would want someone to talk to me about had I been you know, had I been considering going to law school like I was. And so that's the kind of content I like to create. So I love you guys. I hope this video is super helpful. Please leave in the comments below what other videos you would like to see related to law school. If I can do them, I will. If I can't, then I probably won't. But I wanted to make sure I'm making videos that you guys want to see. So with that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.